a couple minutes for everybody to join, but thank you very much for joining us here at BMW of Ann Arbor for our live event with Anthony Magagnoli. My name is Bo Derek. I'm a client advisor here and a Detroit radio personality as well, so it kind of works out. And welcome. Before we do our official thing, I'm just going to welcome you, Anthony.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
And, we're looking forward to this little chat with you guys and the community out there.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's Black Friday, so lots of people are shopping and maybe shopping for BMWs.
Sure, people shopping right here as we speak, actually.
Yeah. Maybe some great deals going on today. And in fact, I know there are. So come on in and see us here at BMW of Ann Arbor, 501 Auto Mall Drive. Looking at the clock here, it's right about 2 o'clock. Hey, Brian Danduran is here too, general manager in the house as we go live.
We're going to do a few technical checks here before we get started.
Okay, just checking to make sure we can read the comments and stuff like that, and making sure that the levels are okay on the microphone. And we'll be chatting about this really event. Yeah, we're live. So there's no do-overs in this situation. And in my background, I like doing do-overs, things that are recorded, and the editor is pretty much my my friend. All right, we're gonna kind of move the camera a little bit. Once again, give a couple more minutes for people to join us here as we go live at BMW of Ann Arbor. There's going to be some questions available for you guys to chime in with questions at the end, a little live Q&A. And also, we're going to give you some links and some other ways you can kind of follow along with the festivities going on in the future. So stick around for that. Also going to be joined by another client advisor here in a matter of minutes too. So should be a fun time. All right. Very good. And I'm going to be sipping on some water for a second. All right. Jockeying for position here. All right.
We'll continue to let some people roll in before we get started here.
All right. We looking pretty good. All right. Give a couple more minutes. We're going to do it in 2 more minutes. 2 minutes. And if you're not here in 2 minutes, you're missing out on the first 30 seconds. But hopefully you'll join us late, and better late than never, I should say. And those that do miss it, we're going to be playing it back on our YouTube channel. So no worries about that. Might be on our Facebook channel as well. Pretty much all our socials. We got that covered for you as well. Once again, make sure you stop into BMW of Ann Arbor today or maybe tomorrow. Get yourself some Christmas gifts. Whether or not that would be in our pro shop there behind us. Our BMW boutique. It's got lots of gifts in there. And I'm told that people do appreciate getting a new car or a pre-owned car for Christmas. So if you're in that kind of mood, a generous mood, make sure you stop by and see us.
I'm quite interested in the M4 CSL on the showroom here.
Yeah, that one is sharp. We are definitely very proud of the CSL for sure.
In more attainable terms, you've got that 228, the new 228i M Sport out there.
That'd be the 230, yeah, exactly.
230,
formerly the 228.
Right. That one's an X-Drive, I believe.
Yeah, yep. Very sharp. Looks really good in red.
Yep.
All right, I think we're probably ready. You good?
Yeah.
All right. We are officially starting the video. Here we go. It is Bo Derek from BMW of Ann Arbor. Welcome to our live event. Some of you have been here for a few minutes, but I'm officially welcoming everybody here to our live event with Anthony Magagnoli. Tell us briefly, Anthony, what we're all here for.
Well, on your invitation, we're here to talk about the 2022 6 Hours of Peru that I raced in last year with BMW of Ann Arbor support. got quite a story there, and we'll talk about 2023's plans, which I know we're almost at the end of the year, but in South America, they're just going into summertime, and December 10th is the upcoming race.
All right, so mark your calendars, December 10th. Now, some of you aren't real familiar with the story about the race. Anthony was involved last year and was very close to winning the race, and it just slipped through your fingertips somehow. So I want to kind of talk about that.
Yeah, it was an emotional roller coaster, but a phenomenal experience overall. So yeah, looking forward to getting into that.
All right, excellent. We're going to talk about that now. Tell us about your background first of all. How some people might not know you. How did you get involved? What Tell us who you are.
Yeah, sure. So I've been racing primarily BMWs since 2007. Started racing professionally in Pirelli World Challenge in 2017. Those that are local might remember a meet and greet that we did back in 2017 when we had the World Challenge car here on site, along with my personal spec E30, and that's what kind of kicked off our relationship between BMW of Ann Arbor and myself.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, the dealership's been a big supporter of the enthusiast community, myself in particular, through events like the One Lap of America, this event last year, and other Cars and Coffees events for the local community. So, yeah, it's just a great group of enthusiasts here. And so since I've been, had other opportunities that have come up since I've been racing professionally, we've tied in with some of those, and they've been a great partner.
How did you get involved with 6 Hours of Peru?
So I know it seems like a crazy story to get a connection all the way on the other side of the world, basically. But a friend of mine was working with the team owner, Saeed Saba, and he's working on the data acquisition system for his car. Saeed needed some help with the chassis setup, and my friend Scott referred him over to me for that. And we reworked the chassis setup, referring to the suspension, and it transformed the car. They were very happy with it. They went on to win the 2022 championship, the annual championship, with the success that they had there. And knowing my background, Saeed invited me to join them in the 6 Hours of Peru, which required an additional driver. So that was how it came about.
Now, you tease a little bit about the car. What is the car? Tell us about that.
So the car is an E30 generation BMW M3. The E30 M3 was the winningest touring car in history, professionally racing. And so it's been updated, but kept the spirit of a DTM racer. But it has an S54 inline six engine from an E46 M3. Has a 6-speed sequential gearbox, big aero. It's massively lightened. It's like 2,400 pounds. And yeah, it's a little rocket.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Now, you're going to be racing in Peru. How is that different from racing in the U.S.?
So some aspects are not that different, but the country is not on the same economic level as the U.S. obviously. So while I felt probably even more passion and heart down there than I do on a regular basis here, people didn't have like the level of equipment that you sometimes see here at pro level races. No stacker trailers and giant rigs towing cars around. It was open trailers and small SUVs that were pulling cars to the track, much like a grassroots effort here in the U.S. and very much the way that I came into racing myself.
Yeah, that's exciting. Now, we kind of teased earlier also about last year's event. I know it's heartbreaking, but let's talk about that a little bit. Tell us what happened.
Well, so last year I landed at 8 in the morning on a Thursday morning, and by noon that day we were on the track for testing. Okay? The race was on Sunday. We had some issues. I think I only got like 12 laps that day, but starting to get a feel for the track and for the car. So that night, working through the night just on some tuning issues. Go back the next day, and we had another set of issues on Friday where that we just couldn't figure it out on site. Eventually, we got back to the shop that night, and at about midnight, Saeed found that a linkage to one of the individual throttle bodies had gone missing. Just a fluke thing that explained everything, but
so now your mind's at ease a little bit.
Yeah, it was at that point. Yeah. So then Saturday, we go back and Sorry, excuse me 1 second as we're having some technical difficulty.
The screen mirroring is yeah.
So we go back on Saturday, and we're working through some additional setup tweaking on the car, and everything's going well. I do a really nice lap at the end of the day, and then as I'm finishing it, something in the motor changes, and it was catastrophic for the motor. So we're talking the night before the race now. A motor swap is occurring. So I stayed at the shop as long as I could until Saeed shoved me into a cab because I was going to be qualifying and starting the race the next day.
Yeah.
And the entire team, showed up on zero sleep the next morning with the car, ready to go with the street engine.
Right.
So this one wasn't as powerful,
Right.
but we got it out there, qualified it on pole for the class, fastest lap that the car had ever turned.
Yeah.
And so we felt ready to go,
Yeah.
except 2 laps after I set that lap, I felt like the clutch went out. So we pull it in, and we're 30 minutes before the start of the race now. They look under the cart, can't find anything obvious, bleed the clutch, hoping that it does something. And then as I roll out to grid, it's the same issue. It just immediately slips pretty much with any load.
Yeah.
So they pull me back into the garage, put me up in the air. I'm still all strapped in. And I just hear a lot of yelling in Spanish underneath me. And I don't know really what's going on, but if I don't take the green flag within 2 laps of the start, we're just disqualified.
Right.
So, after 3 straight days of testing and all that work, swapping the motor, I'm like, geez, we're not going to make it. And then I hear somebody yell drive shaft. Okay. If they have one, that's swappable. They can do that. Right. Yeah. And so, wrenches are clanging, everything is going on. And then, a few minutes later, they drop me down. Now the cars are circulating under the pace laps, and I go out to the end of the pit lane as they're taking the green flag. So
you're not like first or whatever.
No, I lost my qualifying position, but it's a 6-hour race. So starting from the back wasn't that big of a deal. I was in the car for 2 hours. I worked back, obviously, my position, and then I think I put 1 or 2 laps on my class in that time.
Wow.
Handed the car over to Saeed on zero sleep still.
Right.
He ran an hour and a half, I think. Just solid stint. Handed it back to me. I did another hour. And then a yellow flag came up just as we were entering our pit window for our last driver to go in.
Sure.
And so at this point, by the way, we are leading overall.
Amazing.
So, yeah, I mean, and I'm just mind blown, right? I mean, for all the heartache that we had and near ruin so many times leading up to this point, I just couldn't believe we were winning the race.
Still in it, and winning.
And your mindset changes at that point, because now it's like you just want it to end as soon as possible, right? Because so many things can happen. So I was actually doing an interview with the announcer at the track in front of everybody. And by the way, this is the biggest race in Peru.
Sure.
So there's thousands of people there on site watching. And so we're doing a live interview with Saeed translating. And he asked me, he's like, how does it feel to that your name's about to go into the history books? You're about to win the 6 hours of Peru. We're 30 minutes to go here. And I was like, whoa.
Did you feel like don't jinx it?
I literally said that to him.
Yeah,
I was like, anything can happen.
Yeah.
Right. So we finish up the interview. Track goes green again, and Jorge's coming over the radio and saying, things don't quite feel right. And 16 minutes from the end of the race, left rear trailing arm failure, and the car's off the track. Done.
That's it.
Yeah. Heartbreaker, to say the least. So we got to watch everybody else, passionately taking the checkered flag and the podium ceremonies and everything. And it was, very high highs and very low lows. It's like it was kind of all of racing wrapped up into one race emotionally.
Yeah. I feel for you, even just hearing that story. I feel almost like I was there vicariously. Now, BMW of Ann Arbor is involved in this year's race. Hopefully it's going to go a lot better. And one of our client advisors, Mo Beydoun, is going to be, I know he's a good friend of yours, and he's going to be involved. And I think maybe going with you. Come on over,
Yeah.
Mo.
How's it going, guys?
Yeah, have a seat.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
to
Well,
see you,
I
Bo.
won't
Good to see
shake your hand.
everybody,
So Mo, tell us how this is going to be. How you got involved doing this?
That's pretty cool. So, I'm a huge BMW enthusiast. Good friends with Anthony. So, I was involved a little bit last year with making sure that we had some sponsorship for the race. It's just incredible out there to see the BMW of Ann Arbor logo on a car in a different country. I'm one of the many enthusiasts that work here at the dealership, yourself included. But you've got what, 300,000 miles on your
303.
manual
Yep.
transmission car.
Yep.
So I'm also on the board of directors of the BMW Car Club. So I'm really involved in the BMW community, not just in Ann Arbor, but in Michigan as a whole.
And Anthony, how is it going to be having Mo along with you there? How's that going to go?
Well, I think it's going to be a big boost for BMW of Ann Arbor's presence in the race, and for those following along, that Mo's a very talented photographer too. So we're going to get some great imagery, and I think you're going to be a great asset to the team, regardless. And great learning opportunity for us both. But I think the point to emphasize here is that this is not just a sponsorship deal. This is not just stroking a check to put a sticker on a car, right? You guys are actively involved in this, and so many people here at the dealership are active enthusiasts of the BMW community. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, every single salesperson here drives a BMW,
That's
right?
correct.
You've got enthusiasts from the front of the house to the back of the house. I get my car serviced here. I buy parts here. In fact, we got a massive crate of oil headed down to Peru next week, from the parts counter here. So, no, I mean, to have so many enthusiasts here and for you guys to be able to use this as a tie-in to the community and connect with your customers and clients, it's going to be a great opportunity. And it's going to be such a treat for me to go with such a good friend of mine.
Yeah. And Mo, you mentioned kind of like how we're kind of a Midwestern dealership, but on a larger scale.
Yeah, exactly. Like we actually work nationally. We have clients all over the country, and we have an international presence now. Or a Midwestern dealership with international reach. So pretty awesome.
It's definitely going to be great to follow along. Anything else as far as what people can expect, how they're going to follow this race, and what we're going to be looking for this year, besides a win?
Yeah, there's so the car's received some upgrades. Obviously, the control arm's been fixed. Bigger tires, more aero for downforce, and a new motor's been built. Stroker S54 now, so we'll have a little bit more power. So it should be the best it's ever been. The ways to follow along will be through BMW of Ann Arbor's socials. That's Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. My own through my personal is Anthony Magagnoli on Facebook is my primary. My business of Drive Faster Now will be the secondary way to follow along. And that YouTube page, the Drive Faster Now YouTube page, will be the other way. But we'll be posting not only the day of the race, and by the way, the race itself will be live streamed. So I think we noted this at the beginning, but December 10th is the date of the race, Sunday, December 10th. I think it starts around 11 a.m. and Peru's in the same time zone as us. So
is there an official website for the race itself?
There's actually not.
Okay.
I think they have a Facebook page, but yeah, following Saba Motorsports or myself directly would be the best way to follow along.
Or if people just search in Google, they would search what?
Yeah, they'll Anthony Magagnoli, Saba Motorsports, BMW of Ann Arbor, any of those or a combination of those should bring it up. So yeah.
So we're going to look for some questions now. If anyone that's listening out there and watching has any questions, we're going to have Billy that's kind of monitoring those. If he has any questions, he's going to read one.
We got Will is wondering how you guys handle the water situation.
All right, Will wants to know about the water situation. How's that?
So it's a 6-hour race. Obviously, it's an endurance race. So it's endurance for the car, it's endurance for the drivers. So for this race, we have 3 drivers. Saeed and Jorge are the 2 normal drivers, and I'm the one that's coming in for this race. So they have an insulated drink container and then a water tube that connects to our helmets. So it's actually integrated into my helmet. So you plug it in, and then there's a drink tube right in front of me. If you've used a Camelback before with a bite tube, right, it's exactly that. So at any time, I can just shove it in my mouth or finagle it into my mouth and suck down some water, usually with a little bit of Gatorade in it, and hopefully there's enough ice to keep it cool, because once the right ice runs out, the water gets hot very quickly. And the inside of the car can reach 120 degrees, and we're in 3 layers of Nomex. So imagine wearing a snowsuit, hopefully a breathable one, but a snowsuit in 120 degrees. If there's any firefighters out there, they'd probably be able to, get what we're talking about. So the water's critical, because we'll lose a lot.
I actually want to add to that. So that's a great question, and it's not something that most people think about, because you think, oh, a 2-hour stint in a car. I drive 2 hours in a car all the time. But if you ever go on track, and by the way, perfect time to try out going on track is the Groton event next year, BMW Car Club. A 20-minute session with a complete focus on the people around you, situational awareness, and what your car is doing, and what you're going to be doing next. It requires so much more effort that you realize. And so it's a pretty intense situation, and to maintain that focus for 2 hours is no small feat. So
yeah, we can add to that, and just think about the G forces that we're also enduring. If you brake as hard as you can with your street car, you'll be close to 1 G, and we're routinely pulling 1.4 G regularly. I think there's 10 corners on that track. So 10 times per just over a minute lap times 2 hours, right? So just constantly 1.4 G, so almost 50% more than what you can maximum brake at on the street. It takes its toll. So yeah, you got to be in decent shape and keep yourself hydrated, not only to keep your muscles and everything going, but your mind focused as well.
And as you said, people are going to be following along. Are they going to see video footage and stuff like that as they follow along on the websites and stuff?
Yeah, we should actually have the live stream from inside the car going that entire time.
that's how I watched it last year. You could watch the whole race live last year. You could see exactly who was driving. It was a really intense experience.
Yeah, and then for comments on the live stream, we can be providing updates through there as well.
Nice.
And just follow the socials. We'll update as we get closer on the best way to do it, but it'll be on most of those we mentioned.
Any other questions over there?
We got a follow-up question.
Is there a second tube? Oh.
No. If the first one fails, you're SOL.
All right.
But we also have actually cooling for our bodies as well. So commonly referred to as a cool suit or a cool shirt. There's tubes or a bladder on the front and back of the shirt that has tubes going out to a chest with ice water in it, and that's pumping ice water over your body to keep your core temperature down, so you can again remain focused over that time.
Awesome. Anything else that you guys care to add as we kind of wrap this event up? I know once again we're going to be checking the socials and everything to get the updates on it as we get closer to the event. One more time, name of the event, the date.
Technically, it's Las 6 Horas Peruanas, so the 6 hours of Peru. It's on December 10th. We're flying on the 6th, I think, and we plan to test on Wednesday and Friday of that week. So that would be the 8th and the 6th and 8th. And so we'll be providing updates throughout that time, and then qualifying is the morning of the 10th, and the race is on the 10th. Very
good. And Mo, anything to add?
Yeah, really looking forward to it. It was pretty exciting watching it on my iPad last year. So seeing it in person is going to be a surreal experience. We'll actually have boots on the ground. So
very cool.
It'll be awesome.
All right.
Yeah, no, thanks to BMW of Ann Arbor for all the support for everybody here and for everybody watching. Thanks for being involved, and we'll try to keep you updated.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us. Once again, we're going to repeat this if you missed it, and just keep checking out all BMW of Ann Arbor social media pages, and we will give you all the updates on this event. So thank you very much for joining us. See you guys.
Thank you.